Defeat your thinking in the market in order to get rich trading. When you were growing up, you often made mistakes. And the first question you always got asked without fail is, what were you thinking? And that question is denoting that next time, think smarter so you don't mess up again. And this mindset is exactly what traders are carrying over into the market. They consume tons and tons of information out there from every guru possible in order to have information, because they think with more information, they can make better informed trading decisions, and that will equal more profit. But this mindset is the exact thing that is killing your chances in the market without you even realizing it, because you have to come to the conclusion that knowing more information to think better doesn't result in you doing better in the market. If that was the case, that knowing more information allows you to make more informed decisions because you're thinking better in the market. If that was the case, then you'd be killing it in the market by now because you have bought 1,000 different courses. You have paid thousands and thousands of dollars. So if that was truly the case, you would be the greatest trader in the world, but you know that's not the reality. You need to cut your analytical mind off up here, cut it off, and stop thinking when you trade unless you want to just continue giving the market your money. And if you want to continue giving the market your money, that's a personal decision. But if you're following RD trades, my goal is not just to make you money, but to get you rich trading. And I'm telling you now, you got to cut your mind off if you want to stop giving the market all your money, because great traders, they think before they trade, not during. And your ability to shut your mind off becomes your profitability in the market. So in this video, what we're going to be going over is simple. First, I'm going to be going over exactly why thinking is the greatest enemy within that's causing you to lose a lot, right? Now, this may not be the only thing causing you to lose, of course, because there's a whole topic of psychology. But why thinking is the enemy within, what the big boys in the market are doing, and how you are going to start doing the same and cut your mind off so you can actually start winning in the market. Don't overthink it. It's easier than you think it is. It's your mind getting in the way. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. And hopefully you guys know that this stick figure here is better than last time. I know the head is a little big, but we're working on it. We're taking classes. RD is taking classes to draw better stick figures. Why? So you can be more entertained when I'm dropping sauce, when I'm dropping content. Because I know how much you guys love the stick figures. I understand. I get it. They're improving. They're bettering. I promise you. All right. We have a nice, clean board. So starting at the top, let's first go over exactly why thinking is truly the trader's worst enemy. And it's their own enemy within themselves, within their own mind. For this, I'm feeling blue. Let's go with blue. All right, we got blue. So let's just title this. The enemy within. So that's exactly what overthinking is. All right. Let's draw another trader here so we can knock this home. So this is you as a trader. All right. And before you place a trade, likely what you're going to do is you are going to do something detrimental, which is think. You're going to think about the trade, right? You're going to think, okay, is everything lining up? Okay, what does the news look like? Okay, does this pip, is it a bullish engulfing candle? Is it not a bullish engulfing candle? Am I getting into this because of the recent news that came out or not? And you're going to be having a whole lot of thoughts going through your head. It can be thoughts on strategy, right? So like entry or things lining up. What's the news looking like? It can be thoughts from a psychological nature trying to psych you out. Well, maybe I can get price if it goes down a little bit more. I can get price here instead of up here, right? And be able to make more money on that difference. Or your thought may be, well, last time we had a trade set up like this on the same pair, it lost. So maybe I should just wait for a second to see how it plays out. It doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you think. The problem is you are thinking in the market when it's trade time. And this thinking is going to lead to a few different things, but this thinking primarily is going to lead to you in the market losing. First and foremost, the primary thing is going to do is lead to you losing in the market because you are not meant to think while trading. And this is the illusion. And I like to call it the illusion of control when I'm talking to different traders. Now, what is the illusion of control? It's simple. Let's write it. Write it down here. This is a long one, so bear with me. All right. So let's just start off with this, and then let's add the second part later. So the illusion of control is what I want to highlight right here. And the illusion of control is basically saying that you as a trader, this is your belief that if you have more, right? If you have more analysis, if you have more thinking, more education. Why? Because you think that the more education you have can lead to better analysis of the market, which leads to better thoughts when you're trading or thinking. And you think that doing these three things while you're trading, right, is going to lead to somehow you as the trader actually being able to get better results in the market. And that cannot be further from the truth because the rest of the sentence didn't write it out because I wanted to show you this first. The rest of it is this. This is what it really equals in trading. And this is why it's so dangerous. You think that these three things equal better results, but in fact, it's the exact opposite. It really equals indecision, emotions to run rampant in your trading, and most importantly, mistakes. And that is contrary to what you as a trader believe because growing up, you were taught, hey, you make a mistake, what are you thinking? Right? You weren't thinking. You weren't thinking well enough. You weren't thinking the right thoughts. You didn't have enough education. You weren't mature enough. You should have had a better thought process so you didn't do the thing that you did as a kid, growing up in high school, middle school, whatever. But I'm telling you now that in trading, it's the exact opposite. Because when you make indecision, when you make emotions in your trading, when you make mistakes, it's not as a result of thinking too much. Take that back. It's not as a result of you thinking not enough, but as a result of you thinking too much. Got it right that time, right? Because let's break down these three on its own, right? So you as a trader, if you're going to have indecision when you're trading, indecision most of the times, right? And it can vary, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take the form. Really need that dictionary, y'all. Your boy should not be struggling on spelling. It takes the form of hesitation, right? Indecision takes the form of hesitation. Why? Because you are deciding during a trade, during a trading session, whether or not to take the trade. And if you saw our last video, I believe it was on the different types of manifestations when it comes to emotions. And hesitation was definitely one of them. And the detriments of hesitation, which is going to be go over here, it's going to be a lower RR, which is a risk to reward, and a lower win rate. That's all attributed to hesitation, which is indecision, which comes when you're thinking too much. Emotions. When you're thinking, when you're going back and forth and you're having this indecision, and guess what? Emotions are going to come through because you're emotional, you're tied to your money, you don't want to lose money because everybody in trading, including myself, including, whoever out there, even the top traders on Wall Street, whatever, everybody wants to make money. That's the whole goal of trading, right? But a lot of people are tied to money. They're tied to making money. So as a result, emotions are going to be running rampant because you just don't have that pressure, but you're also thinking, man, if I lose this trade, my account's going to be down. Man, I have a floating P&L. I just need to cash out right now. Man, last time I took this same trade setup, it didn't work out, and I want to end positive for today. You're thinking, you're analyzing, emotions are running rampant, and now mistakes are coming. What are mistakes? And if you saw the last video, you know exactly what mistakes are because we talked about it. But very briefly, I'm going to write this down because it's super important for everybody taking notes. I definitely encourage if you want to change your trading. This is so important. I'm going to change markers. I'm going to bust the red guy out. Bam. Underline. Let's do a better underline. There we go. Nice and thick. That's how important it is, y'all. I changed colors for this just so you can see it. Mistakes are not mistakes. Mistakes are not you messing up. Mistakes are not losses. Mistakes will never be losses in the market. They can be a loss, but mistakes are not losses. Mistakes are when you deviate, the deviation from your strategy. That's what mistakes are. So if I only trade London session, right? I think it's 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Early in the morning, right? If you're Eastern Standard Time. If I only trade London session, but I decide, hey, I see the same exact trade setup I love to see, but it's in New York session instead. And while yes, trading New York session is outside my strategy, I'm still going to take it because it's the same setup, but just in a different time frame. Guess what? You just made mistake. Why did you make a mistake? Because you deviated from your strategy. That's all a mistake is when it comes to trading. Get out of the mindset that mistakes equals losses. No, just because you lost a trade doesn't mean you made a mistake. You could be doing everything right and lose a trade. Why? Because it's part of your strategy. It's part of the game to lose. But when you deviate from your strategy on a trade, when you deviate on your strategy and you take a trade you shouldn't take that doesn't line up, well, now you made a mistake, right? And the issue with thinking in the market, and I'm going to go back to the illusion of control. The issue of thinking in the market is that you truly believe you have control, right? Because you think for some reason the markets aren't random. And the markets have a high element of randomness. Yes, there are patterns in the market. Yes, there are different patterns that you can identify. Yes, there are trends that happen in the market, but you believe as a whole that the market is not random, and you believe that you are somehow in control of the market. So as a result, you think that being able to have more education so that you can make better analysis, so that you can have better thinking while trading is going to lead to better results. But what it does lead to is indecision, bad emotions, and mistakes. It's something, and I'm sure everybody here has heard about it because it's not been a trading term, but it's something called analysis paralysis. Overthinking, it literally prevents execution and it causes, and it's the breeding ground for second guessing, which is our friend right here, hesitation. It's the breeding ground for it because you have so much information in your head, so much knowledge in your head, and you're trying to analyze all of that knowledge when it's time to execute, when it's time to trade. And that's going to cause you doing so much thinking and not executing. Why? Because you think you're in control. And if you think you're in control, then of course you're going to be doing all of these things because you think that you can actually control the outcome of something that is random. That doesn't even make sense. If something is completely random, trillions of dollars are traded a day in this market, right? If we're talking about Forex, then why do you have the illusion that you, as a trader, right, trading on your MT4 account, whatever, have control over the market, have control on how something is going to play out? That's a ridiculous notion in itself. But you're doing all of these things because you believe you have control because of that illusion. And you think being more educated to better understand the randomness of the market is going to give you better results. And that will never be the case when it comes to trading. Because thinking activates fear. right? Because thinking is going to activate your fear of losses, fear of losing money, fear of missing out, right? Fear of not being where you think you should be in the amount of time you think you should be there. Fear is going to trigger all of those things, which comes from overthinking. And of course, greed is going to come in, right? You're not going to want to miss out of any trade. You're going to want to hold your trade for as long as you can to make as much money as you can. And you're going to be doing all of this thinking is going to be leading to impulsive changes in your strategy. Or in other words, it's going to be leading to mistakes because you're deviating from your strategy. And this is exactly why thinking truly is the enemy within so many traders. Because so many traders, they want to be highly educated. So many traders, they want to be thinking a lot while they're trading. They want to be analyzing 50 different things while they're trading. And that's not what trading is. And if that's what you do in trading, I guarantee that you're not happy. Let's change this. You're going to be more like this. I guarantee you. And it's something as simple as that because and again, it goes back to the lies we believe in trading. You just believe you're in control and you believe you can control these things and you believe that more information is better results. And that's not the case at all. So if you're a logical person, if you're a logical trader that actually wants to get better at, actually wants to not just be profitable, but get rich trading, you're asking yourself, well, RD, oh, okay, we know it's the enemy within, but what does that mean for me, right? Why does that matter? How can we correct this? What do other people do in the market? You're asking yourself that question. That's a great question. That's why we're jumping into part two right now. I had to set the groundwork. Everybody knows. You've been watching this channel, you've been watching these videos for a minute. You know we like to set the groundwork. You know we like to get the oven hot. And then we go in with the content. We go in with the sauce. We go in with the food. We get everything ready. We come in with the gravy and the hot sauce. But we got to get the oven hot first. And ladies and gentlemen, the oven is hot. It's scorching. It's boiling. Now let's jump into this. So we went over why it is the worst enemy, right? But very quickly, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but very quickly, I want to show you and tell you what the big boys do. Big boys and big girls. I want to make very clear that big boys and big girls already loves everybody. But what do the big people do in the market, right? Let's write this. Right. So the big people in the market, they don't have the same mindsets that traders just starting out or traders not successful, unprofitable do. It's totally different the way traders think. So while not you, because you look at RD trades, so you're hip, you know what's going on. But while somebody not educated the right way is here and say the person that's absolutely killing it in the market, right, is over here. The jump between here and here is a big jump. Why? Because these two traders, they think totally different. And they understand that they think different. Although this person, right, unprofitable trader, he aspires to be like this person. So he thinks to be like that person, I need to do what? I need to get more educated, right? I need to get more educated. I need to get more thoughts in my head. I need to have better analysis while I'm trading. So he's going to be focusing on this. He's going to be focusing on better analysis, thinking more while he's trading, while this guy, he's not thinking at all when he's trading. Artie, what do you mean this guy's not thinking? That makes no sense at all. How can you make money you don't think in trading? That doesn't make sense. I'm turning off this video. It makes no sense. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. See you later, buddy. But for everybody that truly wants to get rich trading, I'm telling you this right now, and I'm passionate. My hand is moving quickly to emphasize that. The big traders, the successful guys, there's no thinking when we're trading. Because if you're thinking, you're losing money. Why? Because those traits that we talked about in that last step are coming up. You're hesitating now. Okay, you're making mistakes now. And all of these manifestations come up when you start thinking. Why? Because as a trader, you were never meant to think. That's why you lose money. Because let's think about it this way. Because I know this is a topic and this is an idea that makes no sense because you've never heard this before. But what is the purpose What is the purpose of you back testing your strategy, forward testing your strategy, live testing your strategy, right? Learning your strategy from a guru. And if you follow me and you understand how to truly become successful in a market, you create a system, right? So, what is the purpose of creating, testing, don't follow? What's the purpose of this, right? This makes no sense. This is arguably the definition of insanity, the definition of doesn't make sense at all, whatever word you want to use. So, you as a trader, right? I already X'd you out because you were just terrible. But you as a trader, well, not you, other traders, traders that don't watch RD, baby. Those traders, they go creating a strategy, right? And creating a strategy doesn't mean that you actually make your own strategy. You learn it from a guru, you do whatever you need to do, but you get a strategy. And if you follow this channel, you know strategy does not matter. It's the psychology and being able to build a system around your strategy that makes you rich trading. But you create a strategy, you get a strategy, right? The creating process, the obtaining process. And then from there, you test the mecca. You test the mess out of it. Everything from back testing, the forward testing, the sideways testing, the live testing. You're going to test it. So you're going to know exactly what the win rate is, exactly what the risk to reward is. You're going to know everything about your strategy. Why? Because you're testing it before you're putting real money in. So if you're doing all of these steps, what sense does that make if you end up not even following it in the market? What sense does that make? That's just like, and this is going to be a crazy example. That's just like on Thanksgiving, you spend all of this time buying the ingredients for food, getting the oven hot, cooking the food, making sure it tastes good, doing little taste tests and everything, and you've laid the food out perfectly on the table. But when it comes time to eat for Thanksgiving, you guys drive out to McDonald's to eat. That makes absolutely no sense. And if you got that analogy and you understand it, hopefully you're starting to understand the absolute stupidity in this. Why spend the time creating something and testing something and building a system around it that you know has a proven edge in the market if you're not going to follow it while you're trading? What's the purpose? Why go through the money to be able to adapt a strategy? Why go through the time actually being able to test the strategy if during the moment you're going to be thinking instead of executing? That's why the wannabe rich traders are focused on education, they're focused on analysis, they're focused on thinking correctly, intelligently, however you want to put it. They're focused on all of that during the moment, while the actual traders making a lot of money, they're not doing any of this stuff. They're executing. They're not thinking, they're executing because they've already spent the time creating their strategy. And then from that strategy, creating a system around that strategy to be able to execute it. And they've already spent time testing out their system in the market, which of course the strategy is part of your system. They spent time testing that out to see if it has an edge. And since it does have an edge, since it is profitable, then guess what they do? It's not that they don't follow the thing that they spent so much time and money testing and finding out and refining. No, they follow it and they trust in it and they believe it because they know that they do not have control over the market. They, the successful traders, do not have the illusion of control in the market. So they know that they cannot control the market. They know that the market is random, even though that there are some recognizable patterns. The market is random. The market can sell off for no reason, and you don't even know why, because a multi-billionaire in China that runs a huge bank could have sold so much of that asset, currency, whatever, that price just spiked. The market is random. That's why you need a edge. Why? Because you're not in control of the market. And that edge is a system, not a strategy. That's why the big guy, the big girl, they're not thinking when they're trading. They're executing their system. And that's the biggest thing that's keeping you from being successful, like the big traders are in the market, to your current state. But look, it's not your fault, right? Because I understand, I've been day trading in this market over a decade. I've seen it all on my road to profitability years and years ago. I've experienced it all. So I get it. I understand. There's a whole lot of people out there trying to push a whole lot of things, trying to make you think you need a whole lot of knowledge and information that you really don't need. Now, look, let me say that with an asterisk. I'm not saying not to educate yourself, because if I was saying that, then the whole idea of this channel would be ridiculous, because my whole goal is to educate you as a trader. What I'm trying to say is the education process is it important? Absolutely is important. Not educating yourself in strategy, not focusing on the strategy, but educating yourself on psychology so that you're able to adapt an incredible system, not a strategy, in order to make money in the market. Yes, education is very important in that regard. But when you're trading, education goes out the window. You shouldn't be thinking about education. When you're trading, analysis needs to go out the window. Because before every trading session, you should have already analyzed the news so you know exactly when you're going to stop trading, when you are going to trade. If you know that the Federal Reserve is coming out with interest rates and that may, just spike the market like nobody's business, right? Then you need to know that before that time even comes, right? I'm jumping out 20 minutes before. I'm going to jump out at this time, right? That's not an in game. That's not a in the moment decision you make. That's a decision that you make before you even start trading. Why? Because you don't want to think while you're trading. You just want to execute. You just want to execute your system. That's why I look at news before I start trading. So I know once this time hits, I'm done. I'm not analyzing in the moment. I know that once my setup appears, I take it. I'm not analyzing it in the moment. I'm just executing my system because I have already put the work and time necessary into building my strategy, into testing that strategy, and building a system around that strategy to actually become rich in trading. And I am just going to execute that system. And all of the thinking and all of the analysis and all of the education, all of that other stuff, that's done before I even sit down and start trading and start even looking at the whatever. That's done before you do all that stuff. Because in the moment, you should be thinking about nothing but flawlessly and perfectly executing your system. I know I laid some heat down on you. I've been telling you guys, I warned you all. I warned you all before we even started. I said, hey, the oven's hot. When the oven's hot, the food getting in, the food cooking, the food's getting tasty. You're starting to smell it in the house. You're starting to smell the aroma. You're getting excited. Look, the food's been cooking. The oven's hot. Let's go to part three. And part three is the part where we actually fix and correct this. And we hinted towards it before, right? Because I just don't want to tell you, hey, overthinking is terrible. Overthinking is killing your trades without telling you how to fix that overthinking. And if you're smart, you know where I'm going with this, right? But let's just dive into it first so everybody's on the same page. Beating the mind, right? So how, as a trader, right? How are we actually? That's terrible. But how are we actually going to be able to beat the analytical mind so that we can start getting rich in trading? Because remember, I say this all the time. My goal is not to make you a profitable trader. That's too low of a goal. If that's your goal, go find somebody else. Because if you make $1 trading at the end of the year, guess what? You're a profitable trader. But you're not in it to make that type of money. I want to make you, I want to give you whatever your desire is in trading. If that's to be rich, rich. If that's to be financially free, whatever. But I want to be able to give, I want to be able to give you the information, the knowledge to be able to do that. So beating the mind, how can we do it? To not get profitable trading, but to get rich trading. How are we going to do this? And I want to write this down. And I know we alluded to this before. I'm going to change colors to denote importance. But I want to make sure everybody's on the same page with this. And enjoy this awkward silence as I write this sentence because it is a long one. This is the essence of what trading is. And if you come away with one thing from this video, it needs to be this. The way that you beat your mind from trading, the way that you make trading robotical, so that you can actually start winning in the market consistently with your edge, is understanding this principle. Is that trading, right? Let's use blue so we can highlight. When I say trading, I'm not talking about gambling. I'm not talking about making mistake after mistake after mistake to the point to where you're gambling and not even using or basing trades off your system. No, I'm talking about trading. It's not about making decisions on the spot. Not the purpose of trading, never is, but it's simply executing a pre-made system. This is what trading is, and this is what you need to do to start winning in trading. You should not be making decisions on the spot. Why? Because you're not God. And it doesn't matter how much information, right, or what guru you follow, whose strategy you bought, whatever. I don't care about any of that, right? I don't care about how much stuff is up here floating into your head that you think is helping you. You are not God. You are not in control of the market. The market is random with over, I think, like $7 trillion traded a day on the Forex market. You don't know what you're doing. And you're not supposed to know what you're doing. And you're not supposed to be able to accurately predict the market. If you were, I mean, look, they would lock you up in Area 51 and they would just have you trade the market for the US government, solely so you can get rid of the, $50 trillion in debt we have because you're just some type of oracle, you're special. But nobody in the world can do that. All you can do as a trader, all you can do, because remember the illusion of control, you're not in control. All you can do is simply execute your system. That's it. And the system is something that is what? Pre-made, right? And what does pre-made mean? Pre-made means that you took the time to test it, right? We can write it up here because I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, right? So nobody's over, oh, RD, I made my system while I was placing my trade and it didn't work. Come on, brother. So let's make sure everybody's on the same page with what pre-made means. This is pre-made, right? Adopted. What does adopted mean? Adopted means that you got your system from somewhere, right? Because understand, strategy plus psychology plus execution is a system. So you adopted the system or created a system, right? Anyway, you got a system, bottom line. And with this system, you didn't just get the system and start trading it. You didn't just get the strategy and start trading it with live money. Hopefully you've never done that before. And if you did, well, I found a quick and easy way why you're not profitable. But long story short, you tested this, right? Live test, back test, demo test, all type of tests, you tested it. And from there, you found that this system is a proven system. In other words, this system has an edge in the market. And what this edge in the market is telling you is if I keep trading this pre-made system, I'm going to get rich in trading. I'm going to make a whole lot of money in trading because I have a proven edge. And if I just work that edge enough over a span of time, I'm going to be making a lot of money in trading. That's all trading is. So when I talk about pre-made, when I talk about simply executing a pre-made system, I'm talking about this system that you created that is pre-made. Your only goal once that trading session hits that you love to trade is to do what? Execute the system. That's it. And if you're doing anything other than executing the system, if you're doing anything other than that, if you're thinking, if you're hesitating, if you're trying to analyze the opportunity, if you're trying to analyze whether or not this high impact news is going to affect your trading, and if you should stop trading in the moment, if you're doing any of that, you're going to fail and you're going to keep failing and you're going to be going from guru to guru to guru, buying all the strategies out there, and you're going to wonder why trading doesn't work for you. And you will be in a perpetual state of loss in the market because you don't understand this simple idea. The best traders don't think while trading, they just execute their system. Because think once, trade 1,000 times. Your strategy should decide before you enter the market. Your system should decide before you enter the market. And if you're watching this video, you have no idea what a system is, you want to learn a system, you want to adopt my system, I want to teach you my system. I have a completely free group where I do this. But regardless, as a trader, you have to be able to shut your mind off. You have to be able to start living and following this. And look, if you don't have this second part, my whole channel is about teaching people how to do that. And if you don't have the second part, well, I found a quick and easy way. I found two quick and easy ways so far. But I found a very simple, quick, and easy reason why you're not profitable in the market, because you don't have the component that it takes in order to actually get rich trading. That's simple. Not having this second part, not having a system that is pre-made, that all I have to do is execute, not having this system, this second part of this equation, is like me going to a lake and fishing for fish, but my fishing rod doesn't have a hook on it. It doesn't matter how long I'm out there. It doesn't matter what type of bait I use. It doesn't matter what I do. I'll never catch a fish. I'll never win in trading. Why? Because you don't have the thing that is a prerequisite for winning. That doesn't mean that if you have a system, you're going to win. That does not mean if you have a system, you're going to get rich. That does not mean that if you have a system, you're going to make millions from trading. But this is the prerequisite. Without this, the other can't exist. And this is contrary to what you know, but this is the underlying, either conscious or subconscious habits of the top traders. And if you follow these steps, if you start to adopt these systems, and if you start intentionally shutting off that analytical mind while you're trading, you as the trader, you will become unidentifiable in the market. And you're not just going to be a better trader, but you're going to transform in the market. This is RD Trades. I'm out, baby.